Hi everyone, so today I am filming a review and a look on the Zoeva Cocoa Blend palette and the Zoeva Rose Golden Blush palette. I received these in the mail last week sometime and I've just been playing around with it, doing different looks. This is probably my favourite. It's a golden bronzy kind of look, and I used Pure Ganache, Subtle Blend, Substitute for Love and Freshly Toasted for this eye look. Okay, so firstly I just want to say I love all the colours in this palette. I mean, get a look at those colours. My favourites probably would be Warm Notes and Pure Ganache. There's 4 matte shades and 6 shimmer shades. So I'll just start from the top. The first shade is Bitter Start, and that's this white shade here. The next is Sweeter End. I don't know how you would explain this. It's kind of like a purpley grey kind of shade. It's a shimmer. The next one we've got here is Warm Notes, and I would describe this as a red wine kind of shade. It's stunning. I mean, look at that. The next one on the palette is Subtle Blend, and that is a dark coppery shade. And then we have Beans Are White. That's just a matte dark grey, almost black shade. It's not quite black, but it is a dark charcoal kind of colour. And then we have Pure Ganache, and that's a really nice golden shimmery shade. And then we've got Substitute for Love, which is a really good transition shade. Then the next we have is Freshly Toasted, and that's just a bit darker warm brown shade, another good colour to deepen up the crease. Then we have Infusion, and this is a strange colour because it's matte but it has gold glitter in it. And then we have Delicate Acidity, and this is a purple shimmery pearlescent purple shade. The thing that I like about this palette is it's so easy to blend. When you put it on the eyes, if you accidentally put too much or anything, it just blends out so easily. But the only problem I have with it is I think it's the 2 shades that I have the biggest problem with is Warm Notes and Subtle Blend, these 2 shades right here. When you're applying these with a brush, you do tend to get a lot of fallout from these, but I haven't had any fallout from any of the other shades. It just seems to be the Warm Notes and Subtle Blend that have the most amount of fallout. But other than that, the palette is so creamy and it's so easy to blend. I love all the colours in it. Next I got the Zoeva Rose Golden Blush palette, and it just looks like this. So the first colour we have on here is Heavy Crown, and that's a really nice contouring shade, and it's not too orange. It's more of like a grey tone contour, so it doesn't show up orange on the skin. The next shade we have on here is Glowing Still, and it's this white and it's really almost iridescent. The next colour on here is Palace Door, and that's supposed to be the blush shade, but it's actually would be a really nice highlight for deeper skin tones. It's probably a bit too shimmery to have as a blush, but today what I've done is I put a normal matte blush on it and then I've just swept that over the top of it, and it's just added a really nice glow to it. So yeah, overall I love both of these, and I've already purchased another 2 palettes from Zoeva. So today I'm wearing the Cocoa Blend palette and the blush palette. If you want to see how I got this golden bronzy smoky eye using these 2 palettes, just keep on watching. Okay, so the first shade I'm going in with is Bitter Start. It's this white shade here, and I'm just going to use that to set the base that I've put down to make it easier for blending later on. Next I'm going to take Substitute for Love. It's this brown shade here, and I'm going to use that as my transition shade. I'm taking that on this fluffy brush and I'm just going to put that in the crease. Okay, so now that I've got my transition colour in, I'm just going to use Freshly Toasted, this brown shade right here, and I'm going to use that to deepen up the crease a little bit. Next I'm going to go in with Subtle Blend, this coppery golden shade here, and I'm going to put that on the outer half of my lid, and I'm just going to use my finger to apply this. And then I'm just going to take my fluffy brush and blend it out, and blend it up into the crease a little bit as well. I'm just taking a little bit more of the Subtle Blend on my brush and bringing that up into the crease so that it blends with the transition shades. Next I'm going to take Pure Ganache, this beautiful golden shade here, and it's, oh, look at this, oh my god, oh my god. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that on my flat brush. So I've just got a bit of the product on my brush, and I'm just going to take my MAC Fix Plus and dampen that. And I'm just patting that on the inner half of my lid. Okay, so now that I've got the colour down, I'm just going to blend the edges of it. And I'm going to take a little bit more of that Subtle Blend, the outer corner colour, and I'm just going to put that on the outer third again, blending it in with Pure Ganache. I'm just going to go back in with Substitute for Love, and I'm just going to add that to the crease again just to blend everything together. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to add a little bit of warm notes, and I'm just going to add that to my crease just to warm up the look a little bit more. Taking my fluffy brush again and blending that out. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in with Pure Ganache, and I'm going to put that on my lower lash line, and just doing that on the inner half of the lash line. And then taking Subtle Blend again, the darker shade, and I'm going to put that on the outer half of the lower lash line. I'm just going to take a tiny little bit of Substitute for Love on this brush here and smoke out the lower lash line. And to highlight my inner corner and brow bone, I'm going to be using this Bitter Start again, and I'm using just this short flat brush and just adding that to my brow bone and inner corner. Okay, so I've just quickly applied some wing liner, false lashes and mascara, and next I'm going to move on to contour, blush and highlight, and I'm just going to use the Rose Gold blush palette, I'm going to use this shade to contour, this shade to highlight, and then this shade, I think I'm going to add that on top of my blush to give it more of a glow. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to contour with my angled flat brush thing. And I'm just going to use Heavy Crown for that. So I'm just going to use that to carve out my cheekbones. Then I'm going to add that along my jawline. And just on my forehead, around the hairline. And to blush, I'm just going to go with my Model Sphere blush in Bird of Paradise. I'm just going to apply that with my fluffy brush, right above the contour. And then to add a little bit of glow to the blush, I'm going to take this fan brush and I'm going to take Palate, that one there, and I'm just going to dust that over the blush. To highlight, I'm just going to take this same brush again, and then I'm going to go in with Glowing Still, and this is a really iridescent kind of beautiful highlight. And then I'm just going to take that on the bridge of my nose and Cupid's bow. I think I'm also just going to take this same highlighting shade and add it to my inner corner. And then for my lips, I'm going to take my NYX matte lipstick and I'm just going to apply that. Then I'm going to apply just a little bit of concealer to the center of my lips to make them appear bigger. Alright, so this is the finished look using my new Zoeva Cocoa Blend palette and Rose Golden blush palette. I hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. If you have any suggestions, please leave them in a comment below. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.
You just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.